Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. This time we're doing an update for Bitcoin and the price action as we move through the month of January. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you want to get notified about similar content, smash that bell notification icon. And don't forget to grab your completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's linked below this video in the description down below. Grab it now. And let's get into the content. So, Bitcoin currently sitting here at prices around 94,000 US dollars. We've had some interesting price action over the past couple of weeks, pretty much moving in this sideways kind of channel here between 91,000 and up as high as 106,000, where we got to back on the 17th of December. Again, very interesting price action happening here. On Monday, January 6th, we had Bitcoin pushing up through two levels of resistance, in my opinion. You had this level here at about 99,500, and we also managed to close above this level of resistance around 101,500. And for me, this was pretty surprising to see us smash back down so hard in the immediate aftermath of breaking through those two levels of resistance. It was looking to me like this was giving us permission to continue on towards retesting those all-time highs between 106 and 108K. But news coming out over the past week or so about the US potentially selling $6.5 billion worth of Bitcoin from their Silk Road reserve, and possibly a bit of FUD hitting the market to drive prices back down from 102,000 all the way down to about 94,000, where we're sitting at today. Again, we did go as low as 92K. We even wicked down as far as 91.4. So interesting price action, going somewhat against the grain here. If you're looking at it purely from a technical analysis perspective, that momentum with this big candle, was leading many people, myself included, to believe that we were going to go higher towards retesting all-time highs. However, we're making this video here around the 12th of January 2025, and we do have a pretty important event happening just 7 to 8 days from now, which is the inauguration of Donald Trump in the United States. Again, probably the most crypto-friendly administration ever to enter office in the United States, and many people are looking towards that particular event as a potential catalyst for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market to continue moving higher. I will say, we could be in for a little bit more chop over the next week or so as we move towards the election. We could even break down lower than this level of 91.8. I would prefer we hold above it. We have that support going back to the 26th of November. We've wicked down, tested this area multiple times over the past month or so. But if we did break below that, we could even come down to retest levels around 87, 88,000. Do we have enough support to hold us around these levels until the 20th of January? Yes, I think we do, but it wouldn't surprise me if we broke down further and if we went down to retest 88. Let's see what happens. A lot of macro drivers going on behind the scenes, not just with the inauguration itself, but I think a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that will not come to the forefront until after that inauguration event. Lots of people being deployed in different cabinet positions in the US, making for a very pro-crypto, or at least crypto-friendly 2025 and potential 4 years ahead of us with this particular administration. So interesting times for Bitcoin. I'm going to jump over and look at the Bitcoin dominance chart as well, because we have talked about this many times on the channel over the past couple of months. We did have Bitcoin dominance breaking down out of this upwards trend. Okay, if I zoom out to the weekly chart here very quickly, this upwards trend for Bitcoin dominance had been intact from September, October 2022 all the way through end of November 2024. So again, this was more than 2 years. This uptrend remained intact before we broke down here on the week of 25th of November. If we zoom back into the daily chart, you can see that after we broke below that trend line, We went even lower, below the 200-day simple moving average before jumping up again. We went up right here to retest the trend line, and look how we bounced right off of it here, getting rejected on the retest, coming back down. We have reclaimed the 200-day simple moving average in the short term here at least, but how long can we maintain above that? We got to wait and see before it potentially dropping, and maybe we get an extended altcoin season as we move through Q1 and Q2 of this year. Again, if we go back to that same time period from 2021 and look at what was happening, you saw Bitcoin dominance starting to break down here right at the beginning of January 2021 after it peaked up as high as 73.3%. You can see how we failed to fully get below the 200-day moving average. You can see we retested it multiple times here before eventually breaking to the downside, and a continued downward move January through May of 2021. This was the real altcoin season, with Bitcoin dominance breaking down sharply and many of the altcoins making exponential runs in price during Q1 and Q2 of 2021. Is the exact same thing going to unfold this time around? I'm not sure. A lot of people arguing that we may not even have a typical altcoin season, but rather different narratives outperforming and having their own day in the sun as we continue to move through 2025. But Bitcoin dominance has started breaking down. We have been rejected from the trend line. It's looking like we may not have the momentum to get Bitcoin dominance back up towards those 61% levels where it peaked out at here during the end of November of last year. And if we cannot get back up to those levels, we could continue sideways for a little bit before moving to the downside, triggering some kind of altcoin season. Now, the other chart I will take a brief look at is ETH BTC, because again, Ethereum is struggling against Bitcoin. It's been struggling for more than 2 years now. Again, if we zoom out on the weekly chart here, Ethereum against Bitcoin has been struggling, moving to the downside in this downwards channel. And again, thinking about altcoin season, if that's on your mind, this was the price action of Ethereum against Bitcoin during altcoin season of the last cycle. Again, December 2020, January 2021, seeing Ethereum start to make bigger moves to the upside against Bitcoin, a little bit of a correction before moving much higher, going through May and June of 2021. So again, we would really need to see Ethereum starting to move or make moves in this general direction here to get up towards reclaiming the 200-day simple moving average and then moving out of the channel here that it's been in for over 2 years, breaking out to the upside and continuing on further. Is that going to happen this time around? We really don't know. Do we even need Ethereum to technically trigger an altcoin season? That's the other question you might want to ask yourself. But Ethereum continuing to underperform against Bitcoin when we're looking at this ETH versus BTC chart. Again, potentially, if the same thing is to play out as in previous cycles, Q1 is typically a very, very bullish quarter for Ethereum in the year after the Bitcoin halving event. So if that does tend to repeat, we should see a strong Q1 for Ethereum. That is not guaranteed though. If you look at the data, however, in those years after the halving event, Ethereum typically does put in some very, very good returns during January, February, and March. But for the moment, Bitcoin's sitting solid here above $94,000. We do have a little bit more time to wait until the election. Sorry, not the election, but until the inauguration event. And if we zoom out, just the word election being on my mind there, putting things in context, we can't forget, guys, that we do have a significant increase in price here since the election. We went from prices of $67,000 all the way up to prices above $107,000, $108,000. We're still up just under 40% since the election date on November 5th and 6th of 2024. So putting things in context, a 40% return in the space of the past, 2.5 months is still a phenomenal return on investment. A lot of people worrying, stressing, a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt hitting and creeping in with a lot of people that you're seeing talking in the space, but we're still up 40% from, 8 to 10 weeks ago, not a bad ROI. And I do still think there's a lot of macro tailwinds that are going to be coming into effect during the course of 2025, with the inauguration potentially being the catalyst for some of that and many of the other tailwinds kicking in as we move through Q1 and Q2. Let me know if you want another video on those macro tailwinds, some of the stuff like rate cuts, treasuries and bonds, stuff with the DXY. Let me know if you want a video on that dedicated below. So that is it for today's video, guys. As always, we are sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. Come on over to Femex. I'm going to leave a referral link in the description below. There are tons of rewards that you can get simply for trading and depositing on Femex. Again, use the link if you want. I really don't mind if you do or if you do not. But Femex obviously has fantastic trading options for Bitcoin on both spot areas and on leverage trading, trading with margin. You can come over and check that out for yourself. As always, do your own research, and this video is not financial advice. Hopefully you got some insight out of it, guys. Let me know in the comments, what other videos do you want to see on the channel? We're always trying to bring you the best content, so make sure you drop me a comment with other suggestions, other videos, other tokens you want to see me talking about. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 10,000 subscribers. We're getting very, very close. Make sure to subscribe below. If you want to get notified, smash that bell notification icon. And don't forget to grab your completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's linked below the video in the description. Grab it now, and we'll catch you in the next one.